Hey everybody, this is Herschel from High School Top 200. Um, the number 24 ranked team in the country is Southland Boys. Now, Southland Boys, we're not going to really see a lot of them this year. It's weird how their competition is set up, where they're playing in the Colts, which is under 19s, under 21s, or something like that. But Otago Boys decided to leave, and they went back into their competition. I actually thought that um, they should have had Southland Boys move into the same competition as well, maybe just to um, keep the high school teams together. I understand why they play under 19s or under 21s, because you know they're pretty far away from everybody, and like a lot of some first 15s are like this, where they're too far away from everybody, and the competition's there, and the travel is too far, and things like that as well. But um, yeah, I just think it's kind of strange, because you got some boys as young as 15 playing against 19, 20-year olds. Um, Granted, they can still win, but I kind of feel like that's not really the point. But Southland is, um, we're not going to see that much of Southland boys. It's going to be hard to sort of gauge where they're going to be in terms of the rankings and how they win. I don't think the competition that they're in is going to be better than the 1A or the Super 8, or maybe not even better than the CNI, which is, I rank probably fourth this year out of all the competitions. So Southland as well are probably not going to get the tests that they need either, um, to keep up with the rest of the nation, but um, they're just going to have to deal with it and do their best. For me, Jacob Payne at hooker is probably going to be the main player. I'm not too sure if he's been named captain or not, but he's probably the guy that I would put in as captain. Or Sean Withy. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But him or Sean are probably going to be the guys that you would want to watch out for. Jacob, I think, is probably going to be a New Zealand secondary school player or a Barbarian. There's a lot of good hookers out there within the country, which is why I reckon that if you give them a shot against some of these other high schools, he can actually prove himself in front of selectors, in front of people and things like that, that he's up there with all the other hookers in the country. So Jacob Payne's the guy that I'd probably go with. Real physical, dominating kind of kid. Real hard, borders on the line of tough and unnecessary. He's kind of like one of those kind of players that tackles you and then pushes your face in the ground kind of thing. He does, sort of stuff like that. Like, he'll just give you the extra stuff after that, which takes people out of their game sometimes, or which gets people to back off, and he's just one of those I don't care kind of guys when he's on the field. And so I like that kind of player sometimes. I like the guys that don't care who you are, and the guys that don't care what school you're from. They're just going to treat you the same as they'll treat any other game, and he's one of those guys that does that kind of stuff. He's got a really good running game, which that is kept close. He's one of those. He'll be one of those tight players that gets work around the rucks done. He's better running from the base of the ruck than from running out wide or anything like that, or first receiver, outside first receiver, or anything like that. I would rather him be close to the action, getting work done that way. Nico and Kenneth are going to be the props, I'm guessing. Those two are probably the candidates that will be up there first with Jacob. And the big kids, and so I suppose Nico's, I think he's in his third year of first 15 as well. And so it's not going to be like a shock to him of, how to adapt or anything like that. So Jacob's going to get a lot of help without having to lead and tell these guys what to do, where to go, things like that. So Nico would be one of those great guys like that. Aleki and Sean at 6 and 7 is also going to be a pretty important part as well. Aleki Saili is in his second year as a year 12. Big blindside kid. He'll probably start hitting the gym properly throughout this year, and then we'll start seeing what he kind of looks like. What he'll look like as sort of an older adult kind of player. If he grows any taller, he'll be flirting with that lock position as well, because he's already a tall kid. Even last year he was a tall kid, and if he keeps growing and puts on that bulk, we could have a really, really good lock on our hands, and someone who's really athletic as well. So look out for Aleki. Sean is going to be in that open side, real fast kind of player, plays quick around the field, shuts down lanes, passing lanes and running lanes and things like that, and just does a lot of press, defense press, and so that's going to be pretty cool to see. Kaya Simon, I think his name is the number 8. He's probably going to be there at number 8. The important ones to me for this backline is going to be Tim Price and then Ryan Taylor. Tim Price is going to be at halfback and Ryan Taylor is going to be at first 5. And those two, I think, are going to have to get on the same page and maybe play a sort of old school style of rugby where you're not setting up into pods and you're kind of positionless. I think they'll have to keep it sort of backs and forwards, because they have a lot of strengths within the backs in the way that they, a lot of strength in the forwards in the way that they do things, and a lot in the backs where they do things and where it's separate. Maybe only have Aleki go out, maybe sometimes, take some runs, and Kai as well to take some runs, but initially just keep them forwards and backs and not really mix them into pods and things like that. And I think it'll work out better. Tim Price is probably going to be the one that marches everybody around the field. Ryan's going to have to maybe work on a better kicking game, or one to match last year when Ben Pope had sort of the kicking duties with Caleb Talamahina. So Ryan's got to take that on for himself. Elliot in the back line at centre. Elliot is a wanderer. Or Warrender or something like that. Sorry if I'm killing your name, but Elliot's the guy that I think is going to be the best attacking option outside, and maybe kind of the playmaker distributor in the back. Maybe try and get Jordan Alan Gillies if he's there, and if he's not gone to league, and if he stayed with rugby or whatever, he'll be another one. And then James Ward will probably be the other wing. And so if Elliot can get Jordan, Allen, and also James in a position where he can use them as and create plays just off them 3-4, I think that they can go pretty well, and opening up those edges, and making some of those long 10-15 meter breaks consistently throughout the game. They'll be really good, and then they have enough speed, especially if Allen is going to still be there, to get things going. Southland is going to be, like I said, not a team that has seen a lot. I'm going to try and get as much information I can all the time, every week, so that everybody keeps up to date with how they're doing. I'm not really one to just to forget about some schools just because they're too far away. That's not really the point of what I'm doing. I'm trying to give all kids and schools the opportunity to be on a platform that everybody can see them. And people are interested in Southland boys and the way that they go, because they managed to get to the top 4 quite a lot. So Southland boys, number 24 in the national rankings, high school top 200 national rankings. Peace.